All right. This is worksheet 16, more volume. And these are interesting. Now, this will be interesting. It says find the volume of the unshaded region. So this is shaded, this is unshaded. All right. And I love these. This is new to academic decathlon. They've never had a worksheet like this. I love this. And it's the, and this is volume. It's the volume, the shaded volume, unshaded volume equals the volume of the total volume minus the volume of the shaded. Okay, so the unshaded is going to equal the shaded minus the total volume. So we have the shape of the volume is a cylinder. So we know that volume of a cylinder is big B times H minus the figure here is also a cylinder, so it's going to be big B times H. So we have these values here, and this is this is good. So this is the well, let's fill in stuff. So base shape is circle, so we have pi r squared h minus pi r squared h. Pi r squared being the base, h being the height of the object. So pi is going to be the same thing, each one. Radius, so that's going to be 3.14 times the radius. Now, the radius of the total is going to be y squared times the height, which is 3y, minus pi, which is 3.14. Now, the radius of the shaded, if this is y, it's going to be y, it's going to be half of y quantity squared times the height, which is still 3y. Now, here's something a little advanced. Notice that each of them, sorry, not that, each of these products has a 3.14. It has a 3y. So we can pull that out. We can pull that out and we can make that, technically we can multiply those, but we can take out the, well, let's multiply. What's 3y times 3.14? 3.14 times 3 gives us 9.42y. 9.42y. And if we pull that out, you're left with y squared minus, and this just becomes y squared over 4. Everybody agree, right? Y squared, we distribute it to the numerator and denominator. And this is 1. So this is 1 minus 1/4, which is 9.42y times, we just have 3/4 y squared. Okay, so now we can multiply those and nothing cancels. So we multiply 9.42 times 3 and then divide by 4. And we get 7.065, 7.065 y to the third, y times y squared. And does it say find the volume of the unshaded? Yeah. So it's 7.065 y cubed. Pretty sure that's the answer. Let's do a little peek. 2.25 pi. Oh, yeah, because they kept it as pi. Okay, that's okay. We can just divide that by 3.14. And we get 2.25. Ooh, that's nice and clean. Which equals 2.25 pi y cubed. Was that the answer that they gave us? 2.25 pi y cubed. Yeah. Okay. So they want us to leave it as pi. We can do that. We have this, again, the total of the unshaded, unshaded is going to equal, now, volume of unshaded is going to equal volume of the total minus volume of the two, those are cones, 2 cones. So, and that total is going to be, and this is where we needed to sort of see that the shapes might be different. So this is a 2 base figure. So we have volume, excuse me, big B times H, big B times H minus 1/3 times 2 times big B H. Reason being, we have two cones. Cones is the 1/3 big B. I guess I could have better written it that we have two 1/3 big B times H. Doesn't matter, it's all multiplication. So base shape is a circle. So we have pi r squared H minus 2 times 1/3. Base shape again is pi r squared times the height. Now, this is going to be, we're going to leave it as pi. My radius is 10x, so that's actually 5x. 5x quantity squared times the height, which is 18x minus 6 minus, we'll just make that 2/3. This is pi. Radius is still going to be the same. It's 5x squared, quantity squared. Let's move everything over a little bit. And then my height is actually going to be half of it. So that's going to be 9x minus 3. 9x minus 3. All right. So, oh, and look at that. We could actually keep it because if we double it. So let's do that. Let's do 25 x squared pi times 18x minus 6 minus, we're going to double that. So we're going to have 25x squared pi times, that ends up being 18x minus 6. Is that going to be, no. Where am I missing? 25x squared pi. Oh, the dividing by 3. Divided by 3. So, yeah. So I see what's going on here. So this is actually, we can bring that out here. Let's do this. Better representation. Instead of doing divided by 3, we can just make that 1/3 of this. Right? So we'll make that 1/3. We'll keep the 1/3. The 2 we'll put over to here. So that's 1/3 25x squared pi times 18x minus 6. And then we have a 1 because we're going to pull that out. And so we have 25x squared pi times 18x minus 6. And if we pull both of those out, we're left with 1 minus 1/3. So you get 2/3. Right, that equals 2/3. And then we have to simplify that all out. We'll distribute that out to both pieces. That's going to be 25x squared pi times the quantity 18x minus 6 times the 2/3. So distribute 25 times 18 divided by 4 times 25, 450. 450 x cubed pi minus 150 150 x squared pi. Distributing to that, x to the cube, that's x squared. And now we're going to take that and we're going to multiply it by 2/3. Oh, I could have just multiplied the 2/3 times that. That was kind of silly. So that's going to be 3 goes into that, 15, 150 x cubed, and then double, sorry. Let's do that. That's going to be 300. 300 x cubed pi minus, that goes in 50 times, hello, and double it is 100 x squared pi. Pretty sure that should be it. 300, 100, 300 pi x squared minus 100 pi x cubed. Yeah, cubed and squared. Good. All right, I got it. A little time consuming. I probably made it harder than it needed to be, but it's a good way. What is the volume of a square pyramid that has a base of 81 meters squared and a height? A square pyramid. This isn't even this problem. Square pyramids go. We just had this problem. Okay, that's a square pyramid, has a base area, 81 meters squared, and a height of 18 meters. This is super easy. Volume of a square pyramid. Pyramid is 1/3 big B times H. Volume equals 1/3. Big B is 81 meters squared times the height, which is 18 meters. I'm going to cross cancel this time. That's going to give me 6. 81 times 6. Volume equals 6 times 8 is 48. 6. Did I do that right? Yeah. Meters cubed. 486 meters cubed. 486 meters cubed. All right, that I at least did efficiently. Yeah, that's a kind of silly problem. That's more like worksheet 15. All right, good luck.